There is a road in Izu that doesn't lead to cities or towers. It leads to water, falling, whispering, singing. This is the path to the Seven Falls of Kawazu or Kawazu Nanadaru. Hidden in the lush mountains of Shizuoka Prefecture, this series of 7 waterfalls is more than a hike. It's a journey through sound and spirit. The trail begins quietly, beneath tall trees and a sky often softened by mist. The forest is alive, leaves shifting with the wind, birds calling above the occasional rustle in the undergrowth. But the loudest voice is always the water. Even before you see the first fall, you hear it, the steady murmur of a mountain stream finding its way downward. The first waterfall you meet is Kamadaru, wide and powerful. Its name means cauldron fall, and the name fits. The water crashes into a deep stone basin, churning like a bubbling pot. Stand on the viewing bridge and feel the cool mist brush your face. Close your eyes and it's like standing at the edge of a breathing force. Not far ahead you reach Ebidaru, the shrimp waterfall, so named for the curve of the rock that looks like a shrimp's back. Here the water doesn't roar, it glides elegant and curved like a ribbon over smooth stone. It's a moment of calm, a reminder that not all power is loud. The trail winds on. Sometimes you walk beside bamboo, sometimes under tunnels of green. And every so often the trees open just enough to show you the sky, bright or overcast, always watching. The third fall is Hebidaru, the snake fall. Twisting and narrow, it weaves down the cliff in 2 slender streams. The rocks are dark and worn smooth by time. It's a place that feels older than the path itself, like the earth decided long ago that water would live here. All along the trail, signs tell the names and meanings of each fall. Benches wait quietly for tired feet. And nearby statues of the writer Yasunari Kawabata remind visitors that this very landscape inspired one of his stories, The Izu Dancer. Here it's not about reaching the end. It's about noticing each curve, each leaf, each drop of falling water. This is not just a trail. It's a place where nature moves and you move with it. As the trail winds deeper into the forest, the sound of the water changes. It's not louder, just closer, more intimate, like a voice speaking only to those who listen. The next waterfall is Shokeidaru, the waterfall of the reflected view. Here the water tumbles down a tall rock face into a narrow basin below, like ink from a brush painting its final stroke. This fall is elegant, graceful, a moment of stillness within movement. But it's also where myth meets nature. A statue stands nearby, a young woman looking out at the water. She is the Izu Dancer, a character from Kawabata's famous tale. And behind her eyes there is longing. The same kind of quiet emotion that lingers in the trees, in the spray, in the silence between each fall. Beyond Shokeidaru is Kanaridaru, the Canary waterfall. Short and wide, it spreads across the rocks like a song. They say its name comes from the light musical sound the water makes when it falls, like birdsong echoing through the trees. Stand there long enough and you'll start to hear your own thoughts settle. The sound of rushing water begins to feel like your own breath. Inhale, exhale. Peace in motion. This is where many visitors slow down, not from tiredness, but from awe. You notice how the trail hugs the river now, how moss grows on both sides of the stone path, and how every corner reveals another version of the same beauty, fresh, flowing, forever new. And then comes Odaru, the great waterfall. This is the tallest and most powerful of the 7. A 30-meter drop from the cliffs above, thunderous and commanding, yet never violent. It's the kind of waterfall that doesn't just fall, it arrives like a sudden realization you didn't know you needed. There's a viewing deck nearby. Many just stand in silence. Some close their eyes, some take photos. But no one speaks loudly here. You don't have to. Odaru isn't just a waterfall. It's a lesson in surrender, letting go, dropping everything and falling freely into whatever waits below. The forest holds the space, the river carries it forward. And the trail invites you to continue, not toward an end, but toward understanding. Because here every waterfall tells a story. And every step writes you into it. After the towering strength of Odaru, the path narrows again, drawing you back into the quiet. But you're not the same traveler you were at the start. Something has shifted, not just your pace, but your awareness. You now listen deeper. You feel how the stream curves with intention, how the air cools near the stones, how silence carries the sound of everything that matters. The next fall is Kamadaru, the pot waterfall. It shares a name with the very first fall, but this one is more intimate. Tucked between boulders, the water spins in a round pool, as if stirring a memory. It bubbles gently, not with force, but with thought. It's said that even the smallest falls have the deepest echoes. A few steps ahead is Ebidaru, the meeting waterfall. Here, two streams cross, meeting in midair before joining into one. Some say it's where lovers reunite. Others believe it's the symbol of choices finally converging. Whatever the meaning, the view stays with you, a perfect moment of coming together. There is something deeply human in this place. Perhaps because waterfalls are not static. They don't remain. They become endlessly, freely. And so do we. As you near the last waterfall, the forest becomes denser. The air grows thick with mist and memory. And then you find it, the final fall, Nanadaru. Though smaller in size, this fall is called the seventh not because of height, but because it completes the journey. It marks the moment where water, trail, and time all let go. Visitors often stop here for a long time, sitting on the nearby rocks, listening not just with their ears, but with their whole presence. Some journal. Some sketch. Some just close their eyes and let the cool spray land softly on their cheeks. This final fall doesn't roar or shout. It whispers in a language only stillness can translate. And as you rise to leave, you realize you've not just walked through waterfalls. You've passed through stories. Remove full stop and calm and in between empty lines. And they've passed through you. The trail bends once more, and the sound of water softens behind you. You've walked among giants, stone, stream, and silence. And now, the forest begins to open. Light falls through the canopy. And the final stretch gently returns you to the world you left behind. But something is different. You walk slower. You breathe more deeply. You really look at the curve of the branch, the fall of the light, the glisten of a single drop still clinging to your sleeve. This is what Kawazu Nanadaru leaves behind, not just memories, but moments you didn't expect to keep. It's strange how water can teach you so much. That strength is sometimes quiet. That beauty needs no permission. That letting go is a kind of grace. The seven falls don't compete with one another. Each one flows in its own way, tells its own truth, and disappears only to return in the next second in a new form. There's a lesson in that. Back near the entrance, you may find a small stall selling tea or handmade sweets. Even here, the rhythm of nature continues, slow hands wrapping warm rice cakes, quiet greetings exchanged like shared silence. Some travelers hike this trail once. Others return year after year. Because it's never quite the same. The water changes. The trees grow. The stones shift. And so do you. Kawazu Nanadaru is more than a sightseeing stop. It is a place to remember how to walk without rushing, how to listen without expecting, and how to stand still even as everything moves around you. So when you leave, don't rush to the train. Pause. Turn back. Let the sound of the last fall reach you one more time. It may be faint, but it stays. In your steps. In your thoughts. In the quiet between things. The waterfalls end. But the journey continues. In you. Even after the last waterfall fades behind you, the rhythm of the journey lingers. Because here in the mountains of Izu, the story doesn't end where the water stops. It expands into villages, into legends, into quiet spaces where travelers pause and listen. As you leave the trailhead, you may come across a small onsen town where wooden bathhouses welcome tired feet and quiet thoughts. Steam rises from rooftops. Slippers echo softly against stone floors. It's as if the spirit of the waterfalls follows you, in heat, in mist, in movement. This region of Kawazu is not only home to falling water, but to rising stories. Take, for instance, the tale of Kawabata Yasunari, the Nobel Prize-winning author who walked these same paths. It was here that he found the inspiration for his short novel, The Izu Dancer, a story of fleeting connection, youth, and longing. Statues and signposts along the falls mark his steps, and if you let yourself slow down, you can feel the echo of his characters in the rustle of the leaves. And just beyond the falls, the Kawazu Nanadaru loop bridge coils like a dragon above the valley, a symbol of modern beauty embracing ancient flow. It reminds you that time bends in places like this. Past and present don't fight, they walk together. Some visitors make this their last stop. Others continue along the Izu Peninsula, exploring coastlines, onsens, and trails that lead even deeper into Japan's natural soul. But wherever you go next, something has shifted. You now know the shape of stillness. You've followed the thread of water from stone to stream, from cliff to cloud. And in doing so, you've traced something that goes far beyond geography. You've walked a path that asked nothing of you, except to be present. And sometimes, that is the rarest gift of all. So as you take your final steps past mossy railings, past tea stalls and turning leaves, remember. The Seven Falls didn't ask to be remembered. But they are. Because they show you what flows, and what stays.